Hi guys, Wretched Painter here. We're in Gröndal in Stockholm, and we're sketching around the industrial area by the waterfront. This is going to be a new series of messages from Gröndal, where we will be taking studies, sketches and paintings of the area. As we're new in town, we're addressing these messages to you, the people of Gröndal, who I will encounter, and I hope to learn a lot more about the area from you. There's a lot more to tell, but we've got to get to it, so we're going to get sketching, and I'll speak to you guys as we go. There's one of the industrial site there. A rather attractive chimney. There seems to be a lot of interesting architecture here that seems to be all closed off for development. Now, to be rather clear from the start, I've been sketching here for about a week. I've been focusing on this development here, not just because of the architecture, which is very attractive and rather puzzling, especially when it's fresh to the eye. You guys have probably lived with it for years, decades, so you know, maybe it's an eyesore, I don't know. But no, the reason I'm actually here is that I managed to get myself onto a course of study at the Royal College of Art, Kungliga Konsthögskolan, of all places. A brief glance at our previous projects, if you were so interested, would tell you that we haven't had so much luck with the official art educational places for many years, but we have had a bit of luck that's brought us to you guys. Obviously the art school isn't here, it's over there by the other lot, but what is here is the OPI lab. It's a very special course of study that brings together artists and architects to work together, exchange ideas in this neighbourhood. Are you aware of it? Maybe you're not. I talked to a few people the other day that they weren't aware of it. Anyway, it's over there. It's basically over there. I might take you in. Anyway, that's what we're doing here. But the way we work is to go around and do painting and drawing. We're going to do that this coming year. But since we're on this course of study, guys, we're going to branch out. We're going to do some other stuff. The problem is we don't know what. And to help decide what to do, we've got to get to know the area. And we best get to know the area by painting and drawing and talking to you guys. So if you see me around, which you might, do come and say hello, and I'd be very keen to talk to you and discover more. But for today's episode, I'm going to probably just do 4 or 5 sketches if we're lucky, and introduce myself more as we go. I should say straight away, I really am rather taken by that building in the distance there, which I've learned is cementer concrete works, and the little roofs on the top. Extraordinary. What's going on there? You know, somebody tell me. No one lives up there, do they? I mean, what a place that would be. Anyhow, I was round there the other day, so I'm actually going to try and see how far we can get round this side. Wait a minute, I'll turn it round. yeah, this side here by the boats where the people go kayaking. I've had a little look around, but I was hoping to see if I could get round for another view of that cement works. But I believe I'm right in thinking it comes to an end. Yes, it looks like it does. Well, that leaves us two choices, guys. To go back round and get a few studies of it over there, or perhaps a bolder move would be to go on the other side of the water. Yeah, but see, being new, I don't know how far I'd have to go to get to a bridge. I think we'll have to walk round. Okay, I'll turn it on once we're halfway round or so, do another sketch. There's another one. What? We've rather zoomed in on it there. We're quite far away. We're in, where are we here? Look, we're here at this place. I'm not sure what it is. It says that. And I'm not sure what that means. I should say that we are going to be doing this in English. I am from England. I live in Norrtälje, and I've lived in Sweden for many years. I can speak a bit of Swedish, but not enough. And plus, this course I'm on is in English. Now that poses a few problems, but there's no way around it. I've got to do this in English. So we'll see how we go. I'll try and not stutter. I'll try and not use strange words. Having said that, you probably, possibly all of you speak very good English. Even children these days, probably on account of YouTube, watching YouTubers and whatnot. My children watch the Norris Nuts, and they've picked up Australian, believe it or not. But yes, these messages are for the people of Gröndal, including children. But they're going to have to be in English. Anyway, we're going to just walk around a bit more. I fancy another one of that cement works. Well, I've tried to get round the corner here to get a better look, but I've been foiled again. Well, foiled. I mean foiled. Sorry, maybe that's going to sound strange. That's a way of saying I've been stopped. Quite decisively. So this is obviously a secure private zone, and there's no going around there. So we'll do what we can. I did notice this graffiti here. I wonder if you've seen this, guys. It's in English, of course. Strange. I want to know what share is. She who lives will love. Yeah, I guess. And there's a dove there. That's nice. I guess that's pretty good, really. So we might as well do something with it. This site, I believe this site's been here for many years, has it? It's just been waiting for development or something. I'm going to learn a lot more about it. Here's some more graffiti. God saves the ruins. What are your views on this generally, I wonder? Graffiti, that is. Here's something else. Look. Quite a lot of art activity. Is this? Ah, there's another one. Const Hall. Have to go down there. But yeah, I noticed that. I couldn't work out, guys, if that was a real concrete art gallery everything made out of concrete, or not, or is it more of a clever arty idea because there's a factory nearby? There's fuck all going on in there, so I'm none the wiser. Anyway, you'll notice it. You will have noticed already that once the button is pushed, it's very easy to get distracted and go on and on and on. So we're going to try and keep this a bit short since it's our first episode and get another sketch done. There's another, just focusing on that top bit there. Carry on down this way, I think. I just had to stop and have a quick sketch of these leaves here. Really quite striking. I haven't seen these in Norrtälje. I am noticing more and more bits of nature that are very different from Norrtälje, even though we're so close. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. In fact, what we generally do is paint nature. That's our normal project. It is to follow the seasons and paint seasonal effects. And then within that find different themes and symbolic pictures to describe the times. So that's kind of what we do. And I suppose we can't just stop doing that. We'll inevitably do some nature studies here. But as I say, we've got to work out what we're going to do first. I've stopped because we've just turned the corner and a gust of wind has blown us. But you can just see we're here, we're right up against it. So we'll have a little nose around here and see what we can find. We were down here the other day. Actually, before we decided to turn this on to talk to you guys, the people of Gröndal, we were still doing our old project, which was to talk to a couple of people in Norrtälje and the P.O.G. There's no time to go into all that now, but I guess I will do it as we go on. But I had to stop that project, so that's all on ice in favour of concentrating on this one. Good Lord, look at that. I mean, some of my old projects I would take that in an instant, seeing it as a metaphor in the traditional plein air painting, sort of impressionist style metaphor of nature and man-made urban elements coming together. I would take that. In fact, more specifically, I would get involved in thinking an awful lot, perhaps too much, about the chaos of the times we live in. I mean, even here in Gröndal, I mean, it's rather nice. I do know it's rather nice, but you guys must all, just like everyone else, be aware of the sense of chaos in the world, you know, in various ways, a sense of teetering on the brink. Any case, I would do things like this to try and sort of reference those sort of fears of the world out there being out of control. But I suspect there's no time to do that. Although, all along this path, guys, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Perhaps we could work it in. I mean, we are meant to be focusing on the area. We are meant to be looking at things of public interest. That's what OPI stands for, by the way. And the climate crisis is of public interest. That's for sure. And here we are with nature all around us. Just maybe we might be back to these sorts of studies here. I mean, look. That's very architectural, if you ask me. Yes, very architectural. And rather beautiful in its way. Even beyond the metaphor of the tree continuing regardless of the railings. It won't be stopped. Apart from that, it's just something in the shapes that works very well. The very uniform railing, metal squares, and the very sort of improvised organic lines and twigs and shapes of the thing. So perhaps we'll do some of that. So we've been distracted there, and it often happens. But these distractions really are to be followed up, because they're going to lead us in unusual places. And I don't see why we shouldn't steer some of our work in the direction of nature and the climate crisis. But the research we do will see to that. It depends what we research, but we'll tell you about it. I just noticed a little box up there. I've always had an interest in those boxes. Is that something you do? I mean, who's put that there? It doesn't say anything. That would be one of you guys, I guess. There's no markings on it. I used to paint them as well years ago. Saw it as a symbol of the pandemic lockdown. You didn't have that here, but in England it was a dreadful lockdown. And in fact, that's when we started recording these messages, which I must say on this first episode, before we get any further, it's a bit unorthodox doing these messages. It's a bit unorthodox doing painting like we do, and it's a bit unorthodox doing these YouTuber messages. But we found a way that suits us, so that's what we're going to continue doing. And the only real bother about it now is that it takes up rather a lot of server space on the cloud. That does bother us. We'll have to work out how we'll do it. Maybe we won't put these on the cloud. But that's none of your concern, good people of Gröndal. I'm just happy to be here. I feel like a guest in your neighbourhood. Tourist. What the fuck is that? What is that over there? Can that be a sauna? Is that some sort of that round thing? Looks to me like one of those saunas. You see a lot of them out in the rural area. But is that a public sauna, guys? I'll have to get over there. That would be extraordinary. Anyway, yeah, I'm a guest in town, and I've got to respect that you guys live here. And also, while we're at it, respect that you have intimate knowledge of what's going on here, what is of public interest here, both, you know, as a group, but also individually. Maybe you'd be rubbed up the wrong way, to use another strange English phrase. It means maybe you'd be a bit annoyed in some ways if a load of professional architects and artists come here as tourists and start telling you what's of public interest. You know, I'm aware of that. That's partly why we're directing this to you. But as I say, there's going to be a long time to go into all this, and we're going to do it together, and we'll see what we can come up with. Believe it or not, before we even get started with any painting, we've got some very practical considerations. For example, how do we get all our stuff here? Where do we store it? We can't really store it in the studio, in the class area. So we're going to have to build some sort of box that we can store our stuff in before we can get to any of the exciting stuff. Yeah, we're gonna build a box. I just noticed this. Well, I was going to call it a boat, but it's not a boat. Is it a barge? Is it a pontoon? You don't see that every day. What's going on there then, guys? Is that to do with the development down there? Is this a more regular scene in Stockholm, where the waterways are used like this to transport stuff? You tell me, but it's very interesting, isn't it? Good Lord. So that's some sort of huge platform that's simply being pushed by that tug. I'm tempted to follow it actually, but we can't, you know, we can't go on. We've actually been distracted so much now, we've run out of time. We have to get back. But there's another view. That's why we're walking this way, is to get another view, but we've not got time. Yeah, but so as I was saying, before we get started, we've got a few things to take care of. But once we are started, I'll be joining you, and you'll be joining me in the infosphere as I go around trying to take some oil